for a non-resident Indian who may not have experience of India, could be one of the hardest countries to start a business. And I'm not talking about a business plan that you use AI to generate for you.
But yeah, we'll start with your journey. How's the journey so far? You have been in UK, you have been in India, you have been in US, you are everywhere actually. People see you online. So what's happening in the life right now? And was the same Jag which is right now?
So when I started my entrepreneurial journey, it was definitely a different Jag. And that Jag had a lot of limitations. I certainly did not think that I would be able to unlock so many levels of possibility in my mind. But when you start an entrepreneurial journey, if you feel that you are a student, then you have so many things that you can learn and excel to levels that you are beyond imagination. The Jag that is in front of you right now is still a student, but has learned so many different skills that has helped me to be able to become a much better version than when I started.
So why what you're doing right now? Why into this? Why into health?
I believe that you are born an entrepreneur. Yeah, I do believe that. Most people may discover that a lot later. Some people may feel that they are an entrepreneur, but they may not have the skill sets and realize later, which costs. But I do believe that I was born to be an entrepreneur. I grew up around my parents who run their own business. So I learned a lot as a very young child, watching ethical part of how to deal with people, which is probably the foundation of becoming a good entrepreneur. You know, being authentic, standing by your word, ensuring that you think of others before you think of yourself when you're an entrepreneur, i.e. your customers, your employees, your business, and then yourself. So these are skills that I certainly learned from my parents. I am born into a family who are involved in real estate and construction. So naturally one would think that's probably why you went into that business. And I would say that plays a big role in the real estate part of my life. But my first business was mobile phones. And the only reason why it was mobile phones was because I wanted to do something different to what I would have inherited as a family-run business. Because, I just knew that I wanted to be able to create something myself. So when I started the mobile phone journey, I ran that business for around 2.5 years. But I feel that I must have done around 8 years worth of work in 2.5 years. It taught me so much, made a lot of mistakes, taught me how to work with people, how to delegate. Taught me how to network with people, which was probably the single most important thing that I learned. Because if you're in real estate, you're probably only going to connect with people for real estate. But when you're in mobile phones, you have people from every walk of life. And I believe that I was a people's person from day one. So we'd have conversations and build relationships with people from all walks of life, whether they were entrepreneurs or working for a company. Thereafter, I started in the real estate business. We done lots of vertical and horizontal growth in that business, which is still alive today with God's grace, 25 years old now.
So that's a real estate part of it. But what is Jag up to these days? What is Jag is more passionate about?
During the learnings, I had a lot of passions and a lot of interests. One of those biggest interests was health and fitness. A long story short, I had a motorbike crash, and health and fitness actually helped me to recover and become a much better version. And that's when I realized that I may not be a personal trainer or a nutritionist, but I do know how to scale these businesses and start these businesses, but most importantly, solve problems better than somebody else can in that segment. And that's how I entered the fitness space. From starting just seminars and educating people around India, we launched a gym chain. Then learning how to do vertical and horizontal growth, I realized that there's other layers of health and wellness. Now doing Be Superhuman, which is health optimization business. And that helped me to connect with even more people and solve even deeper problems, which people sometimes didn't realize they have. And today we work with people globally in this space. So what started off as just a mobile phone shop, which people look at as just a small business, taught me everything I needed to know to be able to elevate my journey to where I am right now.
That's amazing journey for someone who's watching. Trend is about entrepreneurship, but people don't realize business is not for everyone. Yesterday we were talking about it's a high entry barrier point and everyone cannot do it, and someone who's doing it is 95% failure rate. But what are those nitty-gritties that you want to share?
I think you need to ask yourself why before you start. It's not a good idea to start the business and then figure out what next. I may have done that when I first started, but I did pay a lot of prices along the way. The difference is that I was able to endure those failures along the way. You see, the difference between then and now is that a lot of people see things on social media. They only see the shiny stuff.
Yes.
the nice cars, the nice watches, the travels, and think, well, you know what? I want to be an entrepreneur too. And there's nothing wrong with that. Some people just don't understand the hard work that it took for those people to get to where they are. I would say don't be inspired by the flashy things. Be inspired by the hard work. And if you can be inspired by the hard work, then you can be an entrepreneur.
And I like that one. We had a conversation before, the Delegate. What do you talk about that?
So look, as an entrepreneur, you need to understand your why and what is your end goal. I talk to a lot of people who are in business and I say, what's your end goal? Say, open up more, expand. Yeah, no. What's your end goal? How about an exit? And say, exit? I will never sell this business. I'll always have it. Well, is that really an end goal? So you're looking at passive income. You're never looking at creating something magical and then maybe keeping some skin in the game or exit and start and create something else. I mean, there's nothing wrong with people wanting a passive income, but to scale any kind of business, you need to have a number of skills. And one of those skills is delegation. So for new entrepreneurs, one of the things that I would always say is that when you do something really, really well and you're new as an entrepreneur, it's going to be very difficult for you to delegate that to somebody. And that is because nobody is going to be able to do that as good as you. So it's painful to watch people make mistakes. Generally, what happens is the entrepreneur ends up doing that work twice. So you're two people are doing one person's job. But when you master how to teach somebody what you're doing and have patience whilst they're learning, that's when you're ready to scale. Create SOPs. Make sure your SOPs are so thorough that any new team member can be trained upon those and make fewer mistakes and master it. And when you learn that skill, you're able to do that in various different areas of your business. But you'll also start to realize that, okay, I'm not good at that part of my business. Maybe I should partner with somebody or hire somebody to do it better than me. That's when you're ready. That's the time to scale.
But now, let's say for anyone who want to start a business, you are in UK, you are in Canada, you are in India. What is the biggest challenge you're facing scaling outside of your comfort zone? Specifically, let's talk about India.
One is personal to me, which is making sure that you're on point with your health. Okay, so this might not sound like a big challenge to those who may not have endured it for the number of years I have, and that is making sure that you get the number of hours sleep that you need to get. Make sure that you're eating good quality foods, because if you can't function well, you won't be able to make good decisions. That's very powerful. But if you talk about other real challenges, when you're talking of different countries, India, for a non-resident Indian who may not have experience of India, could be one of the hardest countries to start a business. One of the reasons why is because outside of India, a lot of people say, oh, you'll be taken for a ride. You'll lose your money. And so there's that fear. And sometimes it happens. So how do you do your due diligence? How do you know who to trust? I've been at the worst case scenario many times, and that's how I learned. So for me, what would be a massive challenge for somebody who's new, for me, it's a click of a finger, only because I've been through it for years. And now I know the mistakes I shouldn't be making. So how do I overcome this? If I'm going to a new territory, I prepare myself for these challenges first and know that, okay, I need to make sure that I'm going to keep a runway over a certain period. And on that runway, I'm not going to take off because there may be problems. If I can take off sooner, brilliant, that's a bonus. And if you do that, that means you've got the patience, you're prepared, and you'll assess every decision wisely. But when you're on a short time span and you want to get a quick ROI on your investment, you'll make sometimes, excuse how I say this, but foolish decisions with hope that this works out. Hope is not a strategy.
We talked about one thing is right now people want to do everything by themselves, right? The focus is not clear of the youth because they are on social media. They saw one reel, they want to start. They saw the other reel, they want to start that business, or they want to follow the flashy stuff. What is the message for a real entrepreneur? I know focus is one of that. What do you feel like someone who's just starting the business to implement that?
I would say if you're a new entrepreneur, please make sure that you make a very comprehensive business plan. And I'm not talking about a business plan that you use AI to generate for you, okay? I'm talking about deeply assessing the business that you want to start. Make sure you're going to find detailing of every aspect. How are you going to fund it? Why are you going to start it? Is anybody else solving that problem? Can you solve it better than them? How many employees will you need? How much time will it take for you to get to a level where it's going to break even? And then get a third party to give you a real assessment of it and pay for that assessment. Because this could save you hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, pounds, or rupees if you get that assessment, because a third party will be a good critic. And if you can answer those points that a critic raises who's experienced, then you're winning.
I know on the behind the scene you're working on one of the brand but just to summarize, what is your next why?
My next why is to continue to be involved with businesses that make an impact. And when I say impact, I'm talking about creating more employment, teaching people skills. How do I sustain this? By having these people on board and creating good businesses. So I really do enjoy working with people who are genuinely fired up, people who are transparent, people who build trust, people who are loyal. And we've got iPlix Media, where we've got a new department. We're creating brands that are creator-led. And that is a very exciting department for us, because we're creating more jobs for people where they can actually be fired up and maybe become entrepreneurs themselves.
Not that, right? So just the last question. How you're managing different time zones? What time zone you are right now?
A confused one. I don't think even my body knows at the moment. But I don't want to sound like a hypocrite, but I do highly value my health. And wherever possible, I do try and optimize my health, even when I'm lacking sleep. So in my suitcase, I have a red light panel. I'm carrying supplements, magnesium, and along with others. So what I try and do is mitigate some of that damage that I'm doing by not getting enough sleep. But I have a protocol. So this trip was planned. I know that this 1 week was going to be hard. I run a marathon at the starting of it. Then I straight away got into work and meetings, flights, different time zone across America and Canada. Now, when I go back to London and reach there tomorrow, the first thing I'll be doing is a 90-minute hyperbaric oxygen therapy session, followed by a red light therapy session. I'll be having an IV drip and then finishing off with 5 minutes in a cryotherapy chamber. And then I'll have a team meeting, go home and have a good night's sleep.
Yes, ready to work, right?
Yeah.
So how was your Canadian trip, by the way, right?
I deeply appreciate it for all the love that you've given me. And everybody's been very, very kind in Canada. I am very humbled by how people have offered and helped and taken me places. It really means a lot. So, this is something that I will always remember. And the thing that I will definitely say, Canada is definitely a country with a lot of opportunities. I do see people following people without thinking, saying, I'm going to do the same as him, I'm going to do the same as her. Please do plan your business as well. But there is a strong chance that you can be very successful with hard work in Canada. There's no doubt about it. Like yourself, I'm deeply inspired by the work you're doing. And I'm not just saying it because I'm sitting here. I've seen your work. You've shown me around the work that you've done. But much more important than that is you've given me insights into the real estate world that I would never have got otherwise. I probably would have made mistakes which would have cost me had you not given me that information. So I'm deeply inspired. Canada will definitely leave me with a lot of memories, and I look forward to coming back.
Yeah, coming back again, right?
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, let's have one picture, please. Yeah.